about 2 years after my diagnosis, I went to Germany and I did a bunch of stem cell.
Replacement?
No, it was my own. It was, they harvested my own stem cells. So what they did, their belief at this clinic I went to was you have an autoimmune disease, so therefore your immune system isn't functioning correctly. So let's get your immune system functioning correctly. They did all these crazy detoxes. I did like chelation therapy and ozone therapy and had all these like IVs and everything.
This is in Germany?
In Germany for like a 10-day period. And in that 10 days, they harvested my stem cells from my blood. So the moment you get there, they hook you up and they take out like a vast amount of blood. And it made sense to me. I was like, oh, wait a second. I have an autoimmune disease that affects my neurological system. Why am I only treating the symptom of this disease? Why am I not treating the root of this disease? And so that's kind of the thought process at this clinic I went to. So I did the whole treatment there. I felt great. I didn't have a cold or a flu or anything for like 3 years. It was amazing.
Did you think you were cured?
I don't think, because I don't think it works that way. I think it's my belief that like MS is on like a cellular level. Like I don't think it's something that they can just cure. But what I think they did was they were able to kind of rebuild my immune system in such a way that my body has a natural ability to kind of keep it at bay. Now, if I were to talk to a neurologist or if I were to talk to anyone who's a professional in the MS field, they're going to go, it doesn't work that way. And
were they not amazed at how you were?
My neurologist is very amazed at my progress. He's very much like, huh.
Has America adopted any of this?
In certain ways and not in others. Some, we're getting, in America, they're getting a little closer to stem cell, like being more accepting of it and understanding of it. And it's really weird as to why. I think there's a big misconception here as to why stem cells aren't as popular as they are. And most people think it's because, you're using like embryonic tissue or fetal tissue and things like that. And in certain cases, that is what is required. But it's actually to do with the time and duration tissue and cells are out of the body. In America, you can't have any human tissue out of a human body for more than 24 hours. And they need multiple days to grow the stem cells. So that's why, like organ donors, right? They have 24 hours to get that organ in the patient, because as it was explained to me, and I could be totally wrong, but as it was explained to me, they are unsure what happens to human cells that are out of the body for more than 24 hours. They don't know they could corrupt, they could go gangrenous. I don't know.
Sometimes it's just a stain on a comforter, right?
Why wouldn't they just, I don't really know that much about MS, but like, why wouldn't they just do kind of like a transplant and take stem cells from someone else that has a healthy immune system, and then
because as far as I know, your own stem cells are always going to work the best because they come from you. That's not always the case, because you can get like embryonic stem cells and stem cells from umbilical cords and stuff, and that, as they explained to me in Germany, and that is the caveat, is like this is all as it was explained to me.
And you don't speak a word of German.
I don't speak a word of German, no. But we'll get into some depressing stuff too about that clinic, which is kind of interesting after this story.
I don't wanna...
But like if you're older, you have less stem cells. So people who are kind of 60, 70, 80, they need the embryonic stem cells because you want to get as many cells as possible.
So just a little stuff for a second. I always ask people to subscribe or go to HowieMandel.com. But at my age, if you could send me stem cells, apparently
I saved my kids' stem cells, so you can have them if you want them.
Thank you. But also for people who are subscribing.
All right.
Apparently I need them.
They could send it too.
Yeah. But here's the depressing part about that. They go, I'm in Germany.
You're going to tell us something really depressing?
Do we want depressing music?
It's not overly depressing. It's just kind of like...
But say it's really depressing and it's amazing, and then we'll use that as a bridge over this ad.
A commercial, okay.
And now we're back.
For the depressing story.
Thanks. Let's see how many people hung in for depression. Go ahead.
So the clinic that I went to, they're like, oh, they don't harvest the cells on site. They send it off to a lab. And they're like, it's actually the oldest lab in Germany that does this.
Yeah, when you talk about the oldest lab in Germany
and I'm like,
to Jews, we are.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, well, how old is this lab? Thinking maybe the 70s, 80s, whatever. They're like, 1947. Basically, it was a bunch of Nazi doctors that did all these fucking twisted experiments during the war. They were like, okay, well, now we know how to do this stem cell stuff. So war ends in 45, and they're like, well, let's just open up a clinic.